All right, so in this video, we're checking out this Tevocs S600 portable power station, and I wanted to show you this in basically a size comparison to a couple other power stations that I've reviewed previously. I'll link the playlist to the other power stations that I reviewed down in the video description, but this Tevocs here is a bit smaller. It's a little hard to see on camera. It's smaller and weighs less, but it has less energy available to you in this package. So the EcoFlow River Pro on the right there, it's 720 watt hours and weighs about 20% more than the Tevocs here, which has 569 watt hours of energy, or 156 milliamp hours, 156,000 milliamp hours of energy in this power station. So roughly 20% less capacity for about 20% less weight, and also a reduction in size as well in terms of your footprint. And then the Blue Yeti here is about 712 watt hours, but even bigger than the EcoFlow there on the right. But it is a different battery chemistry. That's a lithium iron phosphate chemistry. So it's a little bit better in terms of longevity, but not as much in terms of energy or power output. And then the EcoFlow is lithium ion cells, like 18650 lithium ion cells. And then the Tevocs here has 21700 lithium ion cells. So a smaller, like I said, a newer, larger battery cell with a little bit more energy density. So you get a little bit more energy into a smaller package. Now all of these have, I think, either 600 or 700 watt power or pure sine wave inverters for the DC to AC conversion, as well as a bunch of other similar features. And I'll go ahead and cover the ones that are specific to the Tevocs. You guys can check out the other videos if you want to see specific features on the other ones, but this one is fairly similar to the other ones. Okay, so before we get into all the specs of this power station, this company is fairly new. They are launching this under a Kickstarter campaign that'll run through September the 4th, and I believe after that they're going to have this on Amazon at some point within a few weeks after that. I'm not exactly sure, and I'm not exactly sure what the pricing is going to be at that time. That hasn't been disclosed to me, so something to keep in mind. I believe the Kickstarter, I think for the early birds, they do get some sort of a discount. So link will be in the description if you guys want to check it out. But I just wanted to let you know that this is not something that's in any of the stores yet. This is a fairly new product, but there's a lot of power stations out there that are very similar. So this one here is probably not going to be all that different. So just looking at the power station itself here, as I said, 21700 cells in here, 569.4 watt hours of energy capacity inside here. You get a nice little screen, so you can turn this on by pressing any of the buttons. This will bring it on, and then eventually it will turn off. I think it times out after about a minute or two. So you do get two types of chargers for this power station. You get the cigarette lighter adapter. So if you want to charge up this from your car, for example, you can do that. And of course, you get your standard power brick AC wall adapter, like a 19 volt AC wall adapter that plugs into the input here. And this is where the DC input goes. It's 12 to 30 volts. So you can plug in there, and that'll charge the power bank up. You can also use solar cells if it provides power within this range. I think the maximum limit's at 60 watts, I believe. So in terms of solar power charging is not as good as the other models. In terms of the other outputs here, so you have your normal LED, and so press one, turns it on. And of course you have your light and your strobe light. I'll turn that off. And then you have your cigarette lighter plug here. So if you have DC power stuff from a cigarette lighter adapter, you plug that in there. Get your standard, I think these are 55, I forget, I'll put up on the screen here what these are. These are standard plugs for DC output, 12 volts up to 10 amps, so 120 watts out of all these three ports here. That's also the same ones that are on the other power stations, by the way. So looking at the USB section here, you have USB Type-C power delivery, so you can actually charge the power station via this method as well. If you have like a USB Type-C power charger that can provide up to 60 watts, that'll charge. Obviously, the more watts, you'll be able to charge this up faster. But you can also plug in a USB-C cable here, and it will also provide up to 60 watts of power out. You have a quick charge 3.0 USB port here, standard USB 3.0 quick charge port, and then you have 3 standard USB 5 volt 5 volt 2.4 amp ports here. And then obviously you press this on, that turns on display, then press it again. They'll actually turn on the power to that section. You can turn on the power to the section here. You see it says DC, USB. And then you have 2 regular AC ports here. There's a 600 watt pure sine wave inverter inside. And I believe that's 600 watts total. It will go up to a maximum of 700 watts burst. And then after that, it will shut the power station off. But if you press this on, it will turn on a fan. And you can see that the little AC says that this is also powered on as well. You have a little display here, shows you your battery capacity left 84%, which is nice. I like to see that percentage there. With the Blue Yeti, just shows you a diagram or a picture and doesn't show you the exact percentage. And then if you're drawing power from here, it will show you how many watts are being drawn out and how many hours of battery life you have left in the power station. Obviously nothing's plugged in right now, so that's not going to show anything. Now on the 600 watt pure sine wave inverter here, it really is a maximum 600 watts. So if you try and use something that's going to draw a lot of wattage, like a hairdryer, for example, that can go up to 1200 or 1500 watts, it will shut the power station off. I did try it, doesn't work. I believe the Blue Yeti also had that same problem. So they do have other models if you need more power output. Of course, those models do cost quite a bit more. This is like the entry-level model. I believe they have power inverters up to 1,000 watts and 1,500 watts. I believe those are the 2 other levels. So well, if you go to the Kickstarter campaign, the link in the description, it'll show you the other models that are available to you. Okay, so let's go and plug in something here, show you what happens when you try and charge up other stuff. Turn on the USB. And I'm just charging up a camera here on the right. You can't see that's off screen. It's drawing, looks like about 3 to 4 watts of power. And then at this rate, you have 168 hours of battery life left at 84%, because I'm drawing a very low amount of power. So obviously you can charge up a lot of stuff here, especially on the USB side and even on the AC side. As long as you're not drawing a huge amount of current concurrently at the same time, I believe the entire station, if you have a whole bunch of stuff plugged in, I think at 1200 watts total power output draw, it will shut the power station down. Now, as you heard, when I turned on the AC, the fans turned on. There's 2 exhaust fans here on the side, and that turns on when you first power up the AC side, but it will, obviously they turned off, and then they will turn on if the temperature, the internal temperature of the power station exceeds, I think it's like 40 degrees Celsius, and then the exhaust fans will kick in. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Pretty quick, check out the other videos if you want to see a sort of comparison to what those offer compared to this one. This is pretty, straightforward in terms of what this offers. This is basically a little bit less capacity for smaller size and less weight. And again, a maximum of a 600 watt pure sine wave inverter in here. So it does kind of limit you in terms of what you can do in terms of applications. So if you need more power for more power hungry devices, then you're going to have to upgrade to the higher models. Okay, that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.